Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday afternoon. We're about 6 hours from starting week 11 of the NFL season. So, what better time to do? Razor sharp picks. But, guys, listen, these razor sharp picks aren't getting it done. Not getting it done. Cameron comes in. Normally, the first commenter on these streams. So, always appreciate you, Cameron. Thank you for coming in and giving us your picks. You can read those at the bottom. Hope that you're doing better than I am. Hope you had a better week last week than I did. I did not have a good week. Week 10 did not do me any favors. So we're looking to move on. Like our Buffalo Bills, we're just looking to move on and just hopefully soon get better. You can see down below, I am now down 4 units. So that's not good. You don't want to be down units. You want to be up units. You want to be making people money. You want to be happy. But only 4 units, plenty of time to come back. And also straight up, not a great week either. Finished 500. Ew. Yuck. So we want to figure out week 10. We want to go on to week 11. Those are Cameron's picks. Here are mine. Starting with tonight's matchup. Huge divisional matchup tonight between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Cameron comes over here and says the Bengals. He thinks the Bengals are going to win this one. For me personally, I look at this matchup. Did you know, fun fact, that Joe Burrow's 0-4 in his career in primetime games on the road? Did you know that? I didn't know that until this week. In fact, the Cincinnati Bengals have lost their last 6 or 7 away primetime games. So what does that mean for tonight? Tonight, you look at the Baltimore Ravens, you look at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Ravens are 3.5-point favorites. Excuse me. Bengals a little banged up. A little banged up right now. Some injuries. Receiver down. I think one of the offensive linemen's down as well. So they're a little banged up. I like the Baltimore Ravens to win this matchup. I like the Ravens to cover a 3.5-point spread. Don't let Vegas trick you. Vegas loves giving you that 3.5 thing that, I got that 3. I got that 3 on the other side. That's why they do it. They try to trick you. Shh, don't tell anybody. They try to trick you. They try to let you believe, hey, this is going to be a close game. They're giving me the 3 if I take the Bengals, so I'm going to take the Bengals. Don't buy the hype. Don't fall for that trap. The Ravens are going to win. It doesn't always work out that way, but you'd see if you looked at it, it would work out that way more times than not. Give me the Ravens to win this game. The Ravens cover that 3.5-point spread to start the week off right. But this should be a good Thursday night game. I'm looking forward to it. Then you go to Sunday, no more international games. Everyone's staying in the States. We don't need no more international games. We don't need no stinky international games. We play right here in the U.S. of A. The Tennessee Titans going into Jacksonville, 7-point underdogs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. What do we know about the AFC South? First of all, we know it's the Jaguars division to lose, right? The Jaguars looking good, put some wins together here, back to back. They did just get beat pretty soundly by the 49ers, but that was after the 49ers bye week. Can't read too much into that other than the 49ers get right game after they lost 3 in a row. So you look at this matchup, divisional matchup. Listen, we all know if you want to win your division, it starts by winning your divisional games. Wish the Buffalo Bills could do that. They have one coming up this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The Tennessee Titans, they're not looking so sharp right now. They're not looking that great. You thought that, Tannehill's gone basically now. They got that new quarterback in. Unfortunately, he did not play well last week, so you wonder if he's the answer. Don't know. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars win this game, but I think the Titans keep this thing close. It is a divisional matchup. I know they're on the road, but I like them to keep this close. Give me the Jaguars to win the game. Give me the Titans to cover that 7-point spread. The Chargers. What a game last week between the Chargers and the Detroit Lions, right? Back and forth, offensive showdown, everything you wanted it to be and more. The Chargers going into Green Bay to play the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. Normally you think about Lambeau Field, Green Bay Packers, you think of a tough place to play. But recently, it really hasn't been. And I'm talking about this season. This season, teams have gone into Lambeau and they've spanked the Packers. And I expect something similar in this matchup. The Packers are 3-point underdogs. I expect the Chargers to win this matchup. I expect the Chargers to come away with the victory and beating the spread of 3 points. Lots of divisional matchups this week. We've already had 2. We're going to talk about another one. That's 1, 2, 3. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 divisional matchups this week. So that's exciting. This late in the season, week 11, things are starting to shape out. You're figuring out the playoff picture. I think it's starting to look the way you think they should. Giants going into Washington playing against the Commanders. The Commanders 9.5-point favorites. We all know that DeVito is the quarterback now for the Giants, right? No more Daniel Jones, no more Tyrod Taylor. Unfortunately, injuries have sidelined both those players, and that's unfortunate. And we know that DeVito really has not played that well as of yet. We know that the Commanders, they're looking all right. They're looking like an above average team, barely. But in that tough NFC North, or in the NFC East, I mean, they're staying right there. They're staying right there. They're a couple rungs below the Eagles and the Cowboys, but they're right there in the wild card mix. In the wild card mix, can't forget about that. But to have them favored by 9.5 points to me is an insult. It's an absolute insult. It's a travesty. Kevin thinks the Giants are getting the first pick, and they're going to move on from Daniel Jones if they get that first pick. We'll see. But to let the Commanders be favored by 9.5 points is to me free money. Like, the Commanders are not good enough to be favored to cover such a spread. Personally, I think that the Giants cover this spread. I think Commanders win the game and keep winning, but I think that Commanders find a way to cover this spread. They're not as bad as the Cowboys have made look week after week. Both times I've played them this year. Then you go to Miami. Miami coming off by 13.5-point favorites against the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders coming off back-to-back wins. Pierce, now the new head coach there, has the team playing hard and playing well. So can they beat, or can they at least cover this 13.5 points? The Dolphins coming off a bye, they're fresh, and they just saw the Bills lose. They see blood in the water. They know if they win this game and the Bills perhaps lose to the Jets, they basically take a stranglehold of this division if they don't have one already. So they know what's at stake here as far as, taking claim to the AFC East. They're really making the AFC East third division to lose if they win this matchup and the Bills lose later in the evening. But right now, Dolphins up 1.5 in the East, and again, they can only improve upon that, possibly with a win against the Raiders. I think they get the job done. I think that Tyreek Hill, I think that Waddle, I think that Tua, they had a good week off. They had plenty of time to prepare for this new look Raiders team, right? It's a new look there now with the new head coach, Pierce, looking to be the full-time head coach. And he's done a good job after 2 weeks, right? He's done a really good job after just 2 weeks of making this Raiders team look like a completely different team. Now, if I were betting this game as far as over-under, I think I'd bet the under. We all know that he wants to use Josh Jacobs a lot more than what Daniels was. And that's fine. But I think the Dolphins still win this game. I think they find a way to cover a 2-touchdown spread. The Dolphins to win, Dolphins cover 13.5. Going to probably the hottest, most feel-good story currently in the NFL, the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans coming off some impressive victories recently. Week 18 may or may not be for the AFCs between the the way the Bills are playing, it doesn't look like it will be. It looks like the Dolphins can take that week off and get ready for the playoffs, because I don't think the Dolphins are good enough to get that bye week, the 1 seed. I think whoever wins the AFCs at this point is probably looking at the 4 seed, because no one's really, there are some people who are asking the question, is the AFC the worst division in the NFL? And there's reason to think that they might be right. What game we're on? Cardinals-Texans. That's right. The Texans looking good, right? Looking sexy. 2 back-to-back big wins. Win against the Bengals last week. Not come from my game, but a game-winning drive by C.J. Stroud with a tie game in less than 2 minutes to go. Able to get the job done. The Cardinals got Kyler Murray back. Got their second win of the season. What can they do in this matchup? Listen, this is one of those matchups to me where you look at on paper and you say the way both teams are coming into this game, it clearly points to the Texans, right? Clearly points to the Texans. But this also feels like one of those games that the hype for the Texans starts to diminish a little bit. They're a good team. They are a good team. You can't deny them that. But the Texans might be getting a little too far ahead of themselves and consider themselves a great team, or a team who can make some noise in the playoffs, whatever you want to say. I think that the Texans win this game, but we've seen the Cardinals week in and week out keep games closer than we expected. They beat Dallas. They won last week. We don't know what to expect always out of this Arizona Cardinals team, but we know Kyler Murray's back, and if he's able to distribute the ball across the field, get some players involved, I think that the Arizona Cardinals could keep this game close, potentially get the upset in Houston. Give me the Texans to win this game. Give me the Cardinals to cover that 4.5-point spread. Going to Detroit. Another divisional matchup where the Detroit Lions play against the Bears. The Chicago Bears just looking bad, looking bad. And for Bears fans, it's unfortunate. A lot of Bears fans had high hopes coming into this season, and they just have not lived up to those expectations. The Lions, on the other hand, have exactly lived up to those expectations and then some. NFC North looks like it's their division at this point. Looks like no one's going to really have what it takes to catch them. And it looks like now they're fighting. What seed are they going to get? 2 seed, 3 seed, 1 seed? Can they be that good? And that's really the question surrounding this Detroit Lions team right now. We're not used to seeing them being this good. So now it's like, how good are they? Is this just a mirage, or is this how good that they can be not only in the regular season, but moving into the playoffs as well? I think that the Lions make a statement in the divisional matchup. They win by more than a touchdown. Again, this is one of those tricky numbers that Vegas loves. They're like, oh, we're giving you that half. We're giving you 7, and we're giving you the Bears, a divisional game. You might want to take it, and maybe you do. Maybe you think that's enough. I think the Lions are a far superior team, and I think it's going to show on Sunday. And I have the Lions winning by more than 7.5. Remember, the Lions will have a short week, Thanksgiving next week. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, early. So they want to make sure they try to get out ahead early, possibly, and maybe rest some starters for that early game next Thursday on Thanksgiving. Going to Cleveland, where the Browns are 1-point favorites, even without Deshaun Watson, against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And listen, the Steelers are finding ways to win match games. They're 6-3. You can't take that away from them, but they're not outscoring anybody, right? They're not outscoring anybody. If you look at their points allowed versus points against, I think they've allowed more points. It's really this defense that's keeping them in games, but they will struggle against teams, especially teams in the AFC North, that really go for the same philosophy, right? Now, yes, the Browns do not have Deshaun Watson, but they've won games with PJ Walker before, and I think they can do it again. And I think that that's what happens here in Cleveland. Give me the Browns as 1-point favorites to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, moving them up in the division after a big win last week against the Baltimore Ravens. I think they continue to climb that ladder and continue to surprise some people as far as the possible potential playoffs for the Cleveland Browns. Last 1 o'clock game is the Dallas Cowboys against the Carolina Panthers. Panthers come in as 10.5-point underdogs, and they should. The Panthers will be also in that discussion for the number 1 overall pick. DTR is going to start for the. I still like the Browns even with DTR starting. I guess that's what I feel. I just feel like this Browns defense is going to I would pick the defense to score a touchdown in this game. That's how confident I am in that Cleveland defense against the Steelers offense. Cowboys at Panthers, really not much to say here, right? Not much to say here. The Cowboys trounced the Giants. I think the Cowboys will do it again here. We're getting close to that time of the season where the Dallas lovers and everyone who thinks high of Dallas slowly starts to get disappointed, right? We're rolling into mid-November, early December. We're going to see some unexpected losses, I think, pretty soon for the Cowboys. But this isn't it. The Cowboys win this game. Cowboys cover a 10.5-point spread. Moving on to another double-digit spread. We have 3 double-digit spreads this week. You had the Dolphins game, the Cowboys game, and now the 49ers, 12-point favorites after their big win against the Jaguars last week, going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. I think that the Buccaneers are a fine team, maybe a little bit above average team, but this 49ers team, as long as they're healthy, they are a dominant team. And you look at the 3 losses that they had, all 3 of them without Deebo Samuel. Deebo's back. You got a healthy CMC. I think the 49ers keep on rolling. And the 49ers win this game and cover a 12-point spread. Going to the 425 window, you have the Seahawks at Rams. You have our Jets against the Bills. Remember, I will be live for that game between the Jets and the Bills right here on #sports. So make sure you hang out with me on Sunday at late afternoon to early evening as we watch. Maybe the Buffalo could get out of this slump. We can see what Joe Brady has in store for us as offensive coordinator. But we'll start with the Seahawks and Rams, the 2 divisional matchups of the 425 hour. The Rams beating Seattle in their first contest, just like the Jets beat the Bills in their first contest. So the Seahawks looking for a little bit of revenge. Seahawks able to get the win last week against the Commanders. Commanders kept it closer than what the experts thought, closer than what I thought, but they were able to get the win. The Rams might be getting Matthew Stafford back, so that's huge for them. But I think the Seahawks team is slowly beginning to figure out this offense and what they want to do and what their identity is. I think that's going to come in handy in this matchup. I think that they run the ball well against the Rams. I think they match up well overall against the Rams. I'm a little surprised that the Rams beat them in their week 2, I believe it was, matchup, maybe week one matchup. But the Seahawks get revenge here. Give me the Seahawks for the win. Seahawks cover a 1-point spread. And that's the game that I'll be live for. Again, the Bills play against the New York, New Jersey, Jets, Jets. The Jets, they're feeling all right about how their season's going without Aaron Rodgers, right? Obviously, week 1 was devastating for them, even though they got the win against the Bills. Losing Aaron Rodgers on the first series of the game really mapped out a lot of your season for you, especially since you were staying with Zach Wilson, which I still think is a mistake. Was a mistake back then, is a mistake now. You look at this Bills team, just not what people thought they would be. Not what people thought they would be. They thought they'd be there fighting for a division, thought they'd still be one of the best teams in football. And, after 2 straight losses, a couple close wins, lost 3 out of the last 4. Like it just hasn't. They just fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey. It just hasn't been good news for Bills Mafia, for the city of Buffalo. Just hasn't looked good. But I think at some point the Bills bounce back. Now, is it this week? I don't think so. But I think at some point this Bills offense begins to figure it out going into the offseason. Can't believe I'm saying that instead of the postseason. There's still postseason hopes, of course. It's only week 11. But sitting at 5-5, you're not happy with where you are. And the Bills, need to stack up wins. And with their schedule remaining, it's going to be tough to do. I think the Bills do win this matchup. I think they've learned to lean out of the run a little bit more. Now, this Jets defense is very impressive. We saw week 1 what they did against Josh Allen. 3 interceptions. The Jets, whoever scored over 20, that's what happened, right? Punt return in the overtime is what gave the Jets the win in that one. I think the Bills win this one, but I don't trust the Bills covering a 7-point spread. I just don't at this point. So give me the Bills to win. Give me the Jets to cover that 7-point spread. Moving to Sunday Night Football. Vikings at Broncos. 2 teams on the rise, right? 2 teams on the rise. Broncos coming off 3 consecutive wins with a bye week thrown in there. The Vikings getting Dobbs in there, even though they lost Kirk Cousins. He's given them a spark. They've won back-to-back games. So I think this game, Broncos 2.5-point favorites, could be a very good contest. And I think the winner of this game still has a shot at making the playoffs in their conference, whichever conference they play for, Vikings, NFC, Broncos, AFC. I like the Vikings in this matchup. I think the Vikings are able to throw the ball a little bit better than Russell Wilson, and the Broncos are. Listen, this Broncos offense is still pretty bad. The Bills had 4 turnovers, and the Broncos only got 6 points off those turnovers. I think against any other team, the Bills would have been demolished early in the 3rd quarter, but the Broncos let them stick around. And I think that they do the same thing in this game, letting the Vikings stick around more than they should, and the Vikings do get the victory. Give me the Vikings to win this game. Give me the Vikings to upset the Broncos, as the Broncos are 2.5-point favorites, and beat that 2.5-point spread. Now for the game of the week. This game's going to be so much fun. A Super Bowl rematch Monday night. I'm sure someone will complain about the refs for whatever call they're about to make. Eagles at Chiefs. Chiefs 2.5-point favorites. I think this is going to be such a fun matchup, and I'm going to enjoy watching it. Could be another potential Super Bowl preview. I don't think so, but you never know. The Chiefs and Eagles both coming off their bye. If Andy Reid gets a victory in this game, he becomes the winningest head coach in Kansas City Chiefs history. The reason why that's significant is because he's already the winningest head coach in Philadelphia Eagles history. I think he'd be the first head coach to ever be the winningest coach in 2 franchise histories at the same time. Pretty impressive, right? And to be able to say that you're going against your old team, that's just fun all in itself. And we all know how good Andy Reid is off the bye. And to be honest with you, that's the only reason why I'm picking the Chiefs in this matchup. I know the Eagles are coming off the bye too. They're going to be ready to go. Both these teams will be ready to go. I think it's going to be a fun Monday night matchup. I look forward to watching it. But I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. The Chiefs to win. Chiefs cover a 2.5-point spread at home. So going down the lineup, straight up, I got the Ravens tonight. Jaguars, Chargers, Commanders, Dolphins, Texans, Lions, Browns, Cowboys, 49ers, Seahawks, Bills, Vikings, Chiefs. Against the spread, we got the Ravens tonight, Titans, Chargers, Giants, Dolphins, Cardinals, Lions, Browns, Cowboys, 49ers, Seahawks, Jets, Vikings, Chiefs. Those are my matchups. Those are my picks. Again, doing a little bit more research. Obviously not coming in handy as I'm down 4 units more than halfway through the year. But we're trying it. We're trying it. And listen, sometimes it's slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. Remember last week, 13-1 straight up. We'd love to see that again this week, both straight up and against the spread. We'll see what happens. Don't forget to join me Sunday, 4:25. I'll probably come on here at 3:55 for the game between our Buffalo Bills and the New York, New Jersey Jets. Jets. Listen, we're disappointed in the Bills. I understand that, but that does not mean we're not going to support them every single step of the way. So I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing you all there. If you have your picks, you want to leave them in the comment section, feel free to do that. Thank you, Cameron, for hanging out with me on this Thursday afternoon. I hope you all enjoy your Week 11, and I'll see you for Razor Sharp picks in Week 12. I'll talk to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.